Thanks to Amaranth for sponsoring this video.
So we're back to another studio tour. Now usually we visit somebody who has sort of a set shot, and we would start in that shot and then explore how they shoot it, light it, whatever. This is going to be a little bit different because we are in Adam Savage's cave for the Tested YouTube channel, and it kind of feels like every shot is a shot, and they don't have anything set up as far as tripods and cameras go. We got Patrick Tomaso again. He's filming this one on, what do you got, the FX30 today, Patrick?
We're back on the FX30.
I'm lost on this. I never know if you're the guest or if I'm the guest on this because...
I'll be the guest in this one, in this scenario.
Yeah, because I'm in your place. So
that's right.
I'm the guest, but it's...
You're the guest
but
here,
it's my
but
show.
I'm the guest to them.
That's right.
That's it.
So
Hi,
a couple
everybody.
of guests here. Joey, your production guy, was like, yeah, Adam recently just shooting on his phone now, and he kind of abandoned the typical format, right?
So, yeah. And there's some backstory to that, which is, I'll try and be brief about it. But years ago, I realized that every single shop as set up is an externalization of a philosophy about how to work. Sometimes that's positive, sometimes that's negative, but mostly the shop exemplifies what who built it thinks about how to get work done. And for me, the key is the design of this shop is geared towards the lowest threshold to flow state. To me, I want to just get building as fast as possible. And when COVID hit in early 2020 and we all retreated to our houses, and my editors can all edit out of their house, that's not a problem. But as far as filming in here, Norm Chan, who's the editor-in-chief of Tested, set up a camera here in the corner just after COVID started with the microphone and was like, all you got to do is put the microphone on, push this button, push this button, push this button, and shoot. And I was like, that's way too much for me to think about. Now, I know how to shoot, but I also know myself, and I know with this big camera on its tripod, if I'm setting it up, I'm not going to be thinking about building. And so I just started filming on the phone, and we were off to the races. Actually, Apple was very fascinated about our production workflow when they found out we were doing it all on the phone.
What phone are you using? The latest?
We started with the 12 and then 13. We started with the 13, then the 14, and now we're shooting on a 15, 14. We're going back and forth.
When you shoot on the latest stuff, are you using any of the new Apple stuff like what do they got, Patrick? The
ProRes log.
I love that Apple has done that. We haven't implemented it yet, but we're really excited about it.
So you're just shooting their standard, like full color look or whatever they call it?
In fact, Apple themselves were impressed that we were doing a lot of the shooting on the front-facing camera. And,
so you didn't see yourself?
I need to.
Yeah.
And I can see on the videos, I can see the lower quality of that camera. Again, our brand here is less, it's got to look perfect than it's intimate. Yeah. There's the specific way in which this channel sort of tells its stories is about a sort of an intimate, like you get to be a fly on the wall here in the cave.
Interesting. Now, is the phone that you shoot on your actual phone, or is it just a camera phone and that's it? You know what I mean?
For the first 6 months of COVID, it was my phone, and I was going home every night and uploading, and actually that was where the pipeline was a little sticky.
I bet.
And has since become much more easy to use. Like the software and the transferring large amounts of files that are themselves large has gotten a lot simpler.
And if you treat it just like a camera, you get to have a different level of disrespect to it or whatever too versus
completely. And so now, because we shoot on two phones, I've always got one in here set up, and someone will come in and swap out the phone for a new empty phone and just upload that footage.
So what about the audio? Is it just the built-in mic on the phone?
This is the most fascinating lesson I have learned on YouTube. I have my base in film special effects and film and theater, and then also with Mythbusters and doing a science show. I love telling stories in different modalities. YouTube is completely unique. So you ask about sound. A couple years ago when DJI came out with that beautiful little microphone set.
Clipped it on?
Yeah. We got one. Of course we did. And Norm set it up for me, and I put it on, and we recorded a video because it seemed like a really low threshold to entry for getting good sound. And I watched the video when we put it up, and I was like, I've got a problem with this. I had to watch it 3 times to figure out what my problem was, and it was that the sound was too good. When my phone is here on the workbench and I turn to talk to the phone, the volume attenuates.
I was throwing
off, there. Yeah. There's an intimacy to that's lost when my sound is perfect no matter where I am in the room. And I would have never understood that necessity unless I was working in this format.
So now it's just built-in mic in the phone?
Now it's built-in mic. I wear a lav when Joey or Josh or Norm are filming me with their camera.
Have you ever really been much of a camera guy?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Oh, no. So one of my first jobs as an adult was as a graphic designer. And I think everyone should have about a year of graphic design under their belt because it teaches you to formally, like graphic design is all about transmitting information in an efficient way. Do I know what it's meant to tell me? Do I know what I'm going to learn from this? And in this is terrible, right?
Saddle
this is,
make- yeah, you can't even read it.
You can't read it from here.
Feels like one of those colorblind tests.
Yeah. And so as a graphic designer, you look at that and you do different tricks to pop out the type to make it more readable and understandable. And I think filmmaking is the same exact thing. You look at the frame and like, what is the story of this frame?
I'm curious about your graphic design background though, and how it played into this here.
This is. Are you maybe making fun of my terrible handwriting?
Maybe a little bit.
Because to me, this is readable. Here on this toolbox, this is a better example. I love the Dymo labeler, the old Dymo labeler, because it's nostalgic. But I know what's in every one of these drawers, and I don't need to see this from across the room. But this I do.
Yeah.
Like these are less commonly used tools, and so
Have you noticed that whiteout pens have a specific font? You can. It's like if I were to write this and you were to write it, it would look exactly the same. It's straight.
it's a
because
very readable font.
It pools though in the
It
corners.
certainly does.
So anybody that writes with a whiteout pen, all their typeface looks exactly the same. It's funny. This looks like my whiteout pen writing.
And as you can see, this one is it's a palimpsest now. There's been multiple labels have been scrubbed away and relabeled. It is acetone dissolves whiteout.
I was going to say,
like that.
What gets the whiteout out? If the whiteout gets out the pen, what?
Yep, it's acetone.
You got one of those things where you got to bring in the snakes to eat the frogs, and then eventually, what gets out the acetone? Is this brass?
That is a K&S engineering brass. This is actually one of my bread and butter materials in here. I have this in every size that it comes in.
This was just a test to see how much you would ramble about a tube.
Dude, I have had friends come in and pick up a scrap of like colored
that
plastic
scrap.
and ask me where it came from, and I was able to answer.
Well, in 1954, you see.
Exactly.
Lighting-wise, I've noticed you've got sort of a cornucopia of things going on. First of all, we got natural light.
Yeah, there's a skylight here, which has always been sort of the biggest problem with this space.
Because you can't control it.
You can't control it, and in the middle of a sunny day, I've got a 1ND on there. I've got one neutral density filter across it. Before that, from noon to 2, you couldn't film in here. I was too hot.
Really?
Yeah, I would blow out the rest of the room. These are the bread and butter lamps for the workbench, and actually, once I got these, I was a little mad at myself that I hadn't had them all along. Just because these afford so much, like, the moment you put a lot of light on your workbench, you realize you haven't had enough light on your workbench.
Sure.
Like, that's the main thing.
Is this just for you to see?
Just
or
for me
filming?
to see.
Okay.
But both, right? Because when we film from behind this table, we'll often use these as side lights.
Can you move that for me one more time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to
Our
work for me.
tested viewers hate this sound so much. Oh, and it's because, hold on. Wait, where is it? Stay right there. That's my camera rig. So, phone goes in.
And it holds it steady?
Phone goes in here. Clamp it to anything.
That's some janky stuff you got there, Adam.
Totally.
And you don't find, well, I mean, when
Oh,
you,
it
when
totally
you,
wobbles.
Yeah, when you press record, you probably have to wait for it to settle,
100%.
right?
That actually has a narrative function of letting you know aesthetically. You're just going to see everything here. We get lots of complaints about that sound.
Oh yeah, it's brutal.
But nothing is better than this 3/4 inch lock line for a complete. Because I can hang this.
You can't make
anywhere.
something in here that doesn't squeak?
I have made something in here. Problem solved.
So you said that's the lights in here.
There's an overall plan, which is to get rid of this chock-a-block nightmare here. Mostly because it's not great shop lighting, and it's also not great film lighting. And we could make it even more even. So we're going to build a grid in here. That's
nice.
the next big shift we're making. But we've already made a shift in here, which is this space that didn't exist 3 months ago.
So what'd you put in here? I see you got some. So you still have, were these already here? Oh wait.
Yeah,
no, wait.
no, that's
What is this?
That's one of the new elements. I made a little scoop for it. Out of
You
foam
made it
core.
look like just a shop light.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, but it's actually, oh, that's one of the Amaran tubes.
Uh-huh.
And is this foam core?
Yeah, just black foam core and hot glue. That way I don't have to look at all the elements directly. You know, it shades them just a little bit. And this system is really great.
I like it.
I have an iPad here in the corner, and it's much simpler to come in and set this up. Oh, I guess there's party time. I haven't tried that one. Having this system with the iPad, really nice for adjusting color and pockets of light.
If you don't mind,
Yeah.
I couldn't have asked for a better segue.
Yeah.
The sponsor of today's video is Amaran, and this is the Sidus Link app, which Aperture uses for their lights and obviously for Amaran. But I noticed that. Where'd that come from? That's no good. So you got the tube lights from Amaran. These are great. T4Cs, I think they're called. And then I noticed you also got the
two soft boxes.
matte lights, right? Yeah. The F22s. Is there a reason why you chose Amaran?
That's Joey. That's
Production side?
Yeah, that's production side.
Okay, so now we've got
Joey from LA.
who is, as Adam put it, a shooter, editor, producer.
Yeah, we're a small team. We kind of all wear all hats, and I'm one of those members. We've been struggling with lighting in both of these areas of the shop for a long time. You saw like the skylights and all the fluorescents. I think choosing a lighting package that had something that we could control on like an iPad. So we found a middle ground with the Amaran stuff and be able to choose color temperatures, choose intensities, let Adam do that from the iPad for himself.
And the reason for the F22, so you got light mats here, the F22s.
And so we put in these F22s as sort of ambient areas for the areas that he's in the most. So we wanted to get a nice ambient spill where he's going.
Yeah, you can see everything here. Well,
yeah, and the big thing was, we've shot a lot of maker videos in the past. The big thing was like making sure your shadow is really not like if we have one smaller source, a little bit hotter.
It's pretty soft. Yeah, it's not too bad.
The workflow's been good. Yeah, Amaran, we've been using Aperture lights like since the beginning, and so there was like this like. I feel like early Aperture was like what Amaran is now to some regards. Like there was a point where Aperture became a lot more robust and a lot more like heavy.
I feel like there was a creator, and then now it's like industry level, and now Amaran is now creator again. It's like we still need a creator segment. Have you been utilizing the full color capabilities at all?
We just started playing with it.
I saw that there was a part. Adam pointed out there was a party mode.
Yeah.
On your iPad over here. Party time.
Party time.
What happens if we press that? Does it do anything?
Yes. So look, we got party mode now. Oh, this is really nice. Yeah, look, I started working in the film business when we were using incandescent 10K cans, and every set, your props melting was an issue.
You'd be getting a sweat on with those.
Especially with motion control or with stop motion. There's one extra light I want to put in here, which is I want an operating room lamp that's got like a nice 12-foot swing. And I want to have it here so I can bring it over this workbench, or bring it over this workbench, or bring it over here above my sewing machine.
I'll let Amaran know you want one, and maybe they'll work on it.
If they want to build some of their elements into a surgical lamp, I'm in. Over here underneath my lathe, you can see that I've lit the cabinet underneath it. And this actually does a couple of amazing things. One, it makes it easy to find the stuff in here. Two, because it's lit, I tend to keep these cabinets neater because I can see them from far away. And when they're messy, like I'm on the phone, I come over and I make it neater again. And it provides this sort of romantic warmth to this tool when it's seen in the background that I really dig. So every cabinet I make now includes lighting integral to it because I think that just inherently makes the space more interesting and more involving.
You've got an interesting brain.
Finished building the sorting hardware store system of my all-time dreams. That's what this
Hardware
is.
is in like screws and stuff like that?
This is every nut and bolt you could ever need.
The slide,
and
that's
it's
nice.
100 of everything.
Oh, look at this.
These are indexable. They come out.
Can I give you a credit on something irrelevant to that part? It's just the fact that it slides.
Oh, yeah.
And then the lid opens up so well.
Yep.
That it's not even like, you ever try to get something and you get this out? Come on, get out of here.
Dude, I thought through everything. I even went so far as to the company that makes these boxes. I had 1,000 of them shot with my own logo in my custom color. And this tool sorting system represents basically my profit. Like I bought 1,000, kept 100, sold the rest, and that paid for this shelf system.
I just noticed that it says right up there, Savage Industries.
Yes. And so we've got metric bolts, we've got bearings. I mean, you've got every bearing you could possibly want. You've got springs. This is a complete.
It's worth being excited about. It's pretty sweet, man. It's pretty sweet.
So
I'll give you some bonus points for that. Okay?
That all happened in December.
I would like to know where in all your little shelves and cubbies you keep your morettes.
My what?
Your morettes.
What's a moret?
Yeah, for like twist.
A wire nut?
No, is that what you call it? Down.
Hold on.
Is moret a Canadian thing?
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's a moret.
Oh, that's a wire nut. Wire lug. But
I feel
now,
like maybe it does kind of sound like a little bit French Canadian, doesn't it?
Moret.
Put your moret on it. That was Italian. You made me do.
Yeah,
Why'd you
except
make me do
that if it's French Canadian, I could never get the pronunciation right. You would correct me every single time.
Whenever I say anything to Patrick, I always do an Italian thing. I was like, it does sound kind of French Canadian, doesn't it? It's like, why am I doing this?
And then there's the Wago connectors.
Show me that thing,
Do
Joe.
you know about these?
Do these bridge, or are they still?
These are lever nuts. So you open them up and put a wire in here and clamp it, and a wire in here and clamp it.
And will it complete the
it's
circuit?
rated? Yeah.
That's cool.
No, and check this out. They make these in. They make them like bus bars. They make them as splitters, 1 to 3. There's like all sorts of different executions. This has changed my life for wiring.
Kind of looks like a
2 to 6.
Lego kit.
Yeah, no, it is. Again, actually, it's not far from how I like to keep all this stuff.
But Adam, that's all fine and dandy. You distracted me with your lovely shelves again.
Yeah.
But you still didn't explain why you have a wire and just dangling
I
from
just
your
haven't
ceiling.
gotten around to getting on the ladder and cut that. It's literally dangling from like 2 projects ago.
So
it's not live.
it's
It's
not
not,
live.
hot.
And it's not grounded.
No, not at all.
So you got your iPhone on your little
Yeah.
wand, and you got it there. Do you ever line it up and then go, wait a minute, and then you like,
Yeah, 100%.
you know, and then
yeah.
get back in, and then you like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally shift things in shot to make the shot more clear, or to make sure. I mean, all of this is storytelling. It's all narrative transmission. So to me, the key to storytelling is, do you understand what's happening at any given moment? And that's why I would adjust anything within a shot, just to make sure that the subject of the shot is the main thing coming across. If you went and took an art history course, or anyone that's ever taken an art history course, got an education in how Rubens or Bruegel, how they would set up a painting so that your eye followed a narrative.
Right.
And this is what graphic design is all about. Are you going to look at the most important thing first, or are you looking at some dumb thing first? Okay, then you have to change so that you're looking at the most important thing first, and then moving your eye through the frame.
You've done a whole career.
Yeah.
Maybe a few, right?
Several, yeah.
You had a TV thing. He had a TV thing.
had a
If you guys
TV
didn't,
thing.
he did a TV thing. And so now you're making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I have this opinion that it's the correct way to do it is to like do your thing, do your career, and then make YouTube videos with the stuff that's your hobby. But I'm curious to see what that hobby / it's a show when it's serious, it's just my hobby, like where that needle kind of falls and what your attitude is toward it.
It's a great question. It's an insightful question. For the longest time, the YouTube channel was totally in my brain the side gig.
Right.
Because I was making television full time. We started this channel, we were still making Mythbusters for the first 6 years of Tested. And so I would be in here, in this shop, for like 2 or 3 hours a month. Not a ton of time.
Right.
The show ends in 2016. I keep trying to develop television. I made Savage Builds, I made Mythbusters Jr., I developed a couple of shows that never went anywhere. I pitched to everybody in LA for a couple of years. And then when COVID hit, there was no developing to do for television. That's the moment at which I put the same amount of attention into the channel that I had into the television show.
So I'm not wrong in thinking that it was around that era. Like, it's not that I thought the channel started then, but I feel like the channel became more talked about then.
It became more of itself.
Because you were probably putting out more content as well, right? And so
we went from a video a week to over 400 videos a year. I think YouTube is a serious medium. New medium. I love the fact that I can release one video that's 8 minutes long and another that's 80, and they'll both get huge amounts of engagement. Like, not being restricted to any specific time or layout format or even narrative format is liberating. And frankly, if there's one thing I'm seeking to do on the channel right now, it's to allow everyone on our team to also do things that are having as much fun as I have doing this stuff, right? Like, I want to see more of what Joey, Josh, Norm want to film, want to tell stories about.
So they can express their artistic
because
side of it.
when someone is telling you a story that's interesting to them, they're inherently interesting to watch.
100%.
I believe that
100%.
axiomatically. Because, like, to me, what is this but a platform for me to spread some of the love I have about the incredible life I've gotten to live and the ways and the things that I've learned from doing that. All I want to do is pass that on so that somebody else can maybe find the same kind of joy.
I thought it might be fun, little shop things that maybe somebody like me, a lay person, wouldn't know, interesting little trinkets that you've...
I got one for you here. Let's see here. Where is the...
And it can't be that brass tube.
No. Here. If you had a ring gear like this and you wanted to know precisely its internal diameter, you would go to
A caliper?
No. A caliper gives you a measurement certainly, which says that this is 2 inches on the nose. But a caliper it can be off this way, it can be off this way, and all those can change the measurement. If you want to really, this gets you in the ballpark to within a thousandth or two.
Sure.
But
That's
there
not
are
good enough for what
applications
you're
in
doing?
which that is not good enough.
What's an application where it's not good enough?
Well, if I had to have this be a bearing slip fit on another metallic surface, 1 or 2 thou is not nearly close
Of course, yeah, bearing slip.
I would go and get a telescoping gauge. The telescoping gauge goes in and it's spring fit.
Yeah.
And so you lock it when it's slightly off axis and then you bring it onto the axis. Now it's telling me it's 4 thou over, which is probably the more accurate measurement.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, here's another. When you have to clamp stuff together, this is one of my all-time favorite clamps. This is called a cant twist, K-A-N-T. Because it's using this little scissor mechanism, it imparts a tremendous amount of bite force. And when I'm machining stuff and I need to machine 2 things at once, I'll use these to clamp them together because it holds them.
This
These,
doesn't
and
feel
then
like it would
machine them
work. It's so
together.
small,
I
right?
know. Well, and they make these. They make them nice and large
Right,
too.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I've totally used these.
This
on
feels like a
projects.
novelty, though. Like this was a prototype to make that. You know what I mean?
But
Like,
you can get this way tighter
then like
than you can get that. I get more of a mechanical advantage.
Well, 2 things. One, I've
Did I pass the inspection?
yeah, I've completed inspection. Major issues, obviously, is your unmoretted wires and the fact that I tripped on a couple chairs. But I'll give you your copy of the
Oh, great.
of the report
Awesome.
here. You know.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I get a star. Dude, what a pleasure. Thanks so much for coming by.
So we're back to another.
Sorry about that. I'm all done.
I watch a lot of children's program. What? That sounded weird. That was a weird start. I squeezed the little one. It's
really,
like it feels like such a raw or like a rotten banana.
Feels like a fleshy, yeah. And then they made the big banana
when
for
you
scale.
said fleshy.
Teach you how to use those 2 tools to break through any door in New York City. It's really spectacular.
Link in description.
Yeah.
If you want to buy it.
And then you just walk towards the camera so he has a cut point.
He knows the way. He knows the way.